Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I greet you today, not as mere listeners, but as vessels of purpose and destiny. I come not to entertain your ears, but to stir your spirit. I want to talk to you about something strange, something sacred, and something powerful. It's a phenomenon that many of you have encountered, often without understanding it. You wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. You look at the clock, it's 3:17, or maybe it's 4:04. Your eyes pop open, and the silence in the room, everything is still. But you are awake, you are alert. And deep down, you know there is a mystery in the morning, there is a calling in the early hours. And if you find yourself awake between 3 and 5 a.m., you are being summoned. You are not waking up because your body is restless. You are waking up because your spirit is being called into a conversation. You are not merely interrupted from your sleep. You are being invited into alignment with your assignment. You see, the early morning is not just a time, it is a portal. It is a spiritual gateway where heaven seems closer to earth. It is the time when distractions are few and when your soul is most sensitive. The world is quiet, not just so you can sleep, but so that you can hear. The noise of the day has not yet begun. The hustle has not yet claimed your attention. This is the hour of visitation. This is the hour when the Spirit whispers. Some of you have been asking for answers. You've been crying out for direction. You've been pleading for a breakthrough, and heaven has responded, but the response is wrapped in silence and delivered at 3:30 a.m. The answer came, but you rolled over and went back to sleep, not realizing that you had a meeting scheduled with your destiny. Waking up at this hour is not a problem, it is a privilege. It is not a disturbance, it is a divine appointment. But what do you do when this happens? What should be your response when heaven taps you on the shoulder and says, "Wake up, I have something to say"? You must be ready to respond like Samuel. "Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening." This is the hour of intimacy. This is the time when the King of Glory is extending his scepter toward you, not for you to beg, but for you to receive instruction, revelation, and power. You see, God does not speak at random. He speaks with intention, and he reveals himself at strategic times. The early morning hours are sacred because they represent a place of surrender. They are the hours when flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. They are the hours when discipline meets destiny. These hours are not just for you to toss and turn. They are for you to rise and turn toward your purpose. When you wake up at this time, don't reach for your phone. Don't scroll through messages. Don't check social media. Reach for your purpose. Stretch your spirit. Lean in to listen. Begin with silence. Begin with stillness. Posture yourself for prayer. Open your heart for worship. Allow your mind to be renewed. Heaven does not shout, it whispers. And if your world is too noisy, you will miss the whisper that changes everything. This is the time to journal the thoughts that come. This is the time to write the vision and make it plain. This is the hour when books are birthed, when songs are written, when ideas are born, when businesses are conceived. Some of the greatest innovations the world has seen did not come during boardroom meetings. They came during moments of solitude in the stillness of morning. You are not being woken up just to pray for yourself. You are being called to intercede. You are being stirred to stand in the gap. You are being positioned to war in the spirit on behalf of your family, your children, your community, your generation. The warfare in the world requires watchmen in the spirit, and the watchmen are not chosen in comfort. They are called in the early hours. If you're waking up between 3 and 5 a.m., it is because you are a watchman. You have been entrusted with access. You have been given the burden of insight. You are not ordinary. You are not random. You are chosen. Some of you are waking up not because of what's coming against you, but because of what's about to come through you. You feel unrest not because something is wrong, but because something is being birthed. You are pregnant with purpose. You are full of vision. You are carrying a nation inside of you. But like any birth, the contractions come in the night. The labor pains come when no one else sees. And if you do not rise in those moments, you risk aborting what heaven has placed in you. These are the hours to align yourself with heaven's agenda. These are the hours to ask questions and wait for divine strategy. These are the hours to speak life into your day before it even begins. The first words you speak in the morning are seeds. Speak blessings, not burdens. Speak favor, not confusion. You are not just starting your day, you are shaping it. When the world is asleep, the wise are awake. The successful do not stumble into their calling. They discipline themselves to meet with it. The spiritual do not accidentally grow. They intentionally consecrate. Waking up early is not just a productivity hack. It is a spiritual principle. Jesus rose early to pray. Abraham rose early to sacrifice. David rose early to worship. If they needed to rise early to fulfill their mission, why do you think you can fulfill yours by staying asleep? The enemy is counting on your slumber. He is hoping you stay tired. He is hoping you hit snooze on your assignment. He is not afraid of your dreams. He is afraid of your discipline. He fears the moment you become intentional. Because intention. So if you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., do not despise it. Embrace it. Don't complain. Commit. Don't delay, discern, ask yourself, why now? What am I being called to? And then move. Get out of bed, kneel, sit in stillness, speak with the King, open the scriptures, journal what you hear, write what you feel. Don't try to be impressive, be honest. Don't try to be religious, be real. God is not looking for actors. He is looking for agreement. If you feel tired, remember this, the strength will come. If you feel weak, lean into grace. Heaven never summons you without supplying you. The Spirit of God will energize you. He will strengthen your inner man, and what you gain in those hours will sustain you through storms that others fall apart in. It is better to lose an hour of sleep and gain a lifetime of clarity than to sleep soundly while your destiny slips away. Let me remind you, you are not just a body, you are spirit, you are purpose wrapped in flesh. Your time is not measured just by clocks, but by seasons. And some seasons are not marked by events, but by awakenings. This might be your hour of awakening, not just physical, but spiritual. You are being awakened to who you really are. You are being called out of complacency. You are being summoned to a deeper level. Don't ignore the call. Don't silence the alarm. Rise. Rise in faith. Rise in purpose. Rise in hunger. The hour between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. may be the most inconvenient time for your body, but it may also be the most critical time for your calling. Heaven moves in those hours. Revelation flows. Grace increases, and those who respond will be transformed. You are not like everyone else. You are different. You are marked. You are destined. And those who carry destiny must embrace discipline. When you wake up at that hour, it is a test. It is a door. It is an opportunity to partner with God in shaping the future. Don't miss your moment. In conclusion, let me leave you with this truth. Those who change the world are not just those who are gifted. They are those who are willing to rise when others sleep, willing to listen when others speak, willing to pray when others wait. The difference between average and extraordinary is often found in the hours no one else sees. So if you wake up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., don't just lie there. Don't just wonder why. Do these things. Be still, be intentional, be open, and be obedient. Heaven has something to say, and the most important conversation of your life might be scheduled for 3:27 a.m. And as you continue to rise in those sacred hours, understand that consistency is what unlocks the flow. One awakening is powerful, but a pattern of obedience builds momentum in the spirit. When you make it a habit to respond to these divine nudges, you begin to see your life shift in ways that others can't explain. Doors begin to open, not because you forced them, but because your spirit aligned with timing. Opportunities begin to find you, not because you chased them, but because you became the kind of person they were looking for. Favor begins to rest on you because you're no longer walking in your own agenda. You're walking in divine rhythm. Don't underestimate what happens in those moments. They may feel quiet, but they are thunderous in the realm of the Spirit. Every prayer you whisper in the darkness is a seed sown in light. Every tear you shed when no one sees becomes a river that waters your destiny. Every word you speak over your day becomes a command that shapes your atmosphere. You are not just waking up, you are taking authority. You are declaring who you are before the world tries to tell you otherwise. And there will be times you don't feel anything. Times when you wake up and you're not sure what to say, not sure what to pray, but still you show up. Still you wait. Still you sit in his presence. Because it's not always about what you receive, it's about who you become. Every early rising forms you. Every obedient moment refines you. Every act of surrender shapes the leader, the intercessor, the creator, the vessel you were born to be. This is the path few take, the narrow road, the quiet climb. But it leads to influence that cannot be faked, authority that cannot be bought, and wisdom that cannot be taught in a classroom. It leads to intimacy with the Creator that transforms everything. And the world doesn't need more noise. It needs leaders who have wrestled in the dark and emerged with clarity. It needs people who have been with God before they've been with the crowd. So don't take these moments lightly. When you are stirred from your sleep between 3 and 5 a.m., understand, it is not a disturbance. It is destiny calling. It is not a curse of restlessness. It is a blessing of readiness. The Spirit of God is searching for those who will respond, not with excuses, not with delay, but with open hearts and willing spirits. And so I say again, wake up. Don't just awaken in your body, awaken in your soul, awaken in your identity, awaken in your purpose. This is your hour, not someday, not when it's convenient, now, in the stillness, in the quiet, when no one sees. That's where giants are formed. That's where purpose is refined. That's where legacy begins. May you never sleep through another invitation to greatness. May you rise when you are called, and may your life echo the power of one who didn't just wake up, but one who answered. And when you begin to answer consistently, you will notice that your inner life starts to grow roots. You won't be as easily shaken by the chaos around you because you've been anchored in the quiet before the storm ever came. There's a strength that comes not from speaking louder, but from hearing clearer. And clarity is the reward of those who dare to listen when the world is silent. You start to move differently. You no longer need external validation because you've received internal confirmation. You no longer depend on the opinions of others because you've already received the word from above. It is in those early hours that heaven deposits instructions, downloads blueprints, and reveals insight that would take others years to grasp. These are the hours when problems untangle, when direction becomes clear, when peace enters without explanation. It is not because the world has changed. It's because you have changed. The way you interpret life begins to shift because you are seeing through a spiritual lens, not just a natural one. You are no longer living reactively. You are living prophetically. You are ahead of the storm. You are prepared in spirit, and because of that, you walk in victory. Some of you have been called to break cycles in your bloodline. You are the interruption. You are the shift. But that shift cannot happen at noon. It must begin in the dark. When you rise before the sun, you rise above the cycle. You declare with your actions that the patterns of your past will not control your future. You declare that fear will not speak louder than faith. You make it known in the realm of the spirit that you are not asleep to who you are. You are fully awake to your assignment. There's a cost to this kind of life. It won't always feel convenient. Your body will crave more sleep. Your mind will question the point. Your emotions may not always cooperate. But purpose is not always comfortable. It is intentional. And every morning that you choose to answer the call, you are stepping deeper into alignment with your destiny. You are sharpening your discernment. You are building spiritual stamina. You are becoming trustworthy with more. And so I urge you, don't wait for things to get easier. Don't wait for someone to validate your calling. Don't wait for a perfect moment. The moment has already arrived. It comes wrapped in darkness, in silence, in mystery. But to the one who responds, it unfolds into revelation, strength, and divine favor. This is more than a habit. It is a way of life. It is the life of those who carry influence that cannot be explained, peace that cannot be stolen, and vision that cannot be blurred. You were not made to sleep through your season. You were not created to slumber through your assignment. You were born for more, and every time you rise in those early hours, you are proving to heaven and to yourself that you are ready. So when the clock reads 3 or 4:11 or 4:59, don't roll over, rise. This is your moment. This is your time. And the world is waiting for the version of you that can only be revealed when you dare to wake up, not just from sleep, but into purpose. In conclusion, if you find yourself waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., do not ignore it and do not treat it as a random inconvenience. It is your spirit responding to a higher frequency. It is heaven knocking gently on the door of your soul, asking if you're ready to go deeper, to see clearer, to become more. These early hours are not ordinary. They are sacred. They are heavy with purpose, pregnant with revelation, and overflowing with divine strategy. Every time you choose to rise, you are telling your future that you are ready to meet it. You are telling your Creator that you are available, willing, and present. And in return, you will receive wisdom for the journey, strength for the assignment, and clarity for the next step. You are not being woken up because you're restless. You're being awakened because you are called. Don't miss the call. Don't sleep through the invitation. Use the stillness of those hours to commune with your source, to silence every voice but His, to receive instructions that cannot come in the noise of the day. Your purpose is too great to ignore these moments. Your legacy is too valuable to keep hitting snooze. Wake up in faith, wake up with intention, and wake up with reverence, because between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m., eternity is whispering your name. And the one who responds will never be the same.